Oh yeah, I know it's a pink case, but you gotta work with what you got. This case has proven to be one of the best ITX cases to build your PC in. It comes in a variety of different colors, which is not something you see most of the time, because most of the brands will offer either black or white case or some funky color, but Cooler Master decided to give this case in a variety of different colors. And yeah, somehow I got the pink one. So once we get over the color, let's see what's inside. It has two ventilated sides, both with a mesh filter and both held by pegs, so removing them is pretty much straightforward. On the left side of the case there is a radiator rail system which can be removed if you do not wish to use it. And it can support either two 140 or two 120mm fans, thus supporting 240 or 280mm radiators here, with plenty of room left to sport a larger pump on an AIO. And it also has mounting holes for one 3.5-inch hard drive here, if you still use those. And if you decide to go with an air cooler, have no fear, it can support up to 155mm heatsink sizes. In the bottom part of the case we have the Master NR200P accessories, and here we have two SickleFlow 120mm fans with an already mounted kit for easy installation on top of the case. You will also get a Y-splitter cable, so you can connect both of these fans on one fan header, since ITX boards tend to have less PWM headers than regular boards, so beware of this. In the box here is also the PCIe riser cable if you wish to mount your GPU vertically. Just bear in mind that in this case you are limited to dual-sized GPUs, but do not worry, there is enough space between the panel and the GPU. The riser is PCIe Gen 3, so note that if you plan to put a Gen 4 card in this case, because you will need to get one separately or use the card in Gen 3 mode. Looking further in the interior of the case, there is a support for ITX or DTX form factor motherboards and also the cage for SFX or SFXL PSU, because the cage can be repositioned to accommodate the corresponding PSU. And you can install a 2.5 or 3.5-inch hard drive here as well. If you do install a 3.5-inch hard drive here, it may get in the way of a long vertical GPU, but still it will leave enough room for a side-mounted AIO. If you look closely, you can see that there are 4 Velcro ties positioned around the PSU bracket to keep things tidy once you start your cable management game. The front panel is also held by pegs, so removing it is super easy. By removing the front panel, there are plenty of holes for cable routing here, also to hide some cables. But interestingly, here we have space for two 2.5-inch SSD drives and also mounting holes for a water cooling pump if you decide to do a custom water cooling build in this case. You can also install the PSU frame into the front. You can see these little slits, this is for the PSU cage, and this will in turn keep you from using an AIO on the side. Backside of the case is a regular style for ITX cases, PSU power pass-through cable, IO shield, the already mentioned vertical GPU 2-slot support, and you can also see that there is a little bit of space left against the side panel. Also here are the rails for 92mm fan support. You can also use custom reservoir mounting here, so I believe it will work for that. Bottom chamber supports 3-slot GPUs max or 2-slot cards and a regular 25mm fans in the bottom for better intake. Top cover reveals the mounting place for those two SickleFlow fans that came in the accessories box, and they have a rubber grommets in which you just insert the fans and it's done. This is done to dampen the vibrations that fans produce. Sadly, the top mesh is not removable in a traditional way, just remove it and clean it way. It's held against the plastic top cover, but it is removable if you wish to unbend these metal inserts that is held by. On the bottom of the case we have 4 large feet which have plenty of space between the case bottom and the surface you put it on, so fans installed in the bottom can breathe properly. Here we also have a magnetic mesh, which is obviously removable, revealing spots for two 120mm fans or 240 radiators support here also, but also space for mounting one 3.5-inch hard drive. The top I/O panel is fairly simple, and I wish there was a USB Type-C port here, it's mandatory in this day and age. It has only 2 USB 3.0 ports, one combo headphone mic jack, and a Cooler Master shaped power and reset button. So yeah, Type-C and one USB 3.0 port could have been implemented here. Maybe we will see this in the future variants of this case. Cooler Master, do it. The overall design of this case is well thought out, everything is in its correct place and you have the option to choose which cooling method will you use. Exterior dimensions of this case are 376mm wide, height of 185mm and depth of only 292mm. And it weighs 5.93 kilos. It has clearance for CPU coolers of up to 155mm if used with a mesh side panel and up to 153mm if you use glass side panel. And yes, it comes with a glass panel also in the box. I managed to install the glass panel with 155mm cooler, but it's literally touching the glass, so beware of this if you plan to use larger CPU coolers. Also beware if you go with a vertical GPU orientation that this clearance shrinks down to 76mm, so any CPU coolers larger than this or AIO pumps taller than this will not fit. The clearance for the GPU cards is up to 330mm in length and up to 60mm in thickness. Building in this case is quite easy, everything installs easy, every cable is nicely routed, but you might have issues while cable managing this case, as some cables can't be hidden that well. I managed to hide some cables in the front panel space, some cables from the PSU are barely hidden in the back, and this is literally always an issue with smaller enclosures, so bear this in mind when you start a build in this case. Regarding the temperatures, this is one of the better airflow cases on the market, just make sure to use mesh side panels if you want maximum out of it. But even with tempered side panels, the temperatures were more than decent. So yeah, nothing else to say guys, I think I covered everything that matters about this case. The build quality is great, it retails for some $130 and it's available in several colors to choose from. But what matters here the most is that in just 18 liters of volume you can put beefy hardware and have it cooled properly without worrying about it overheating. Literally the best cooled small form factor case on the market today. And above all, it has plenty of space for additional storage. Thanks guys for watching, if you have any questions feel free to ask them in the comments below, like and share the video, and I'll see you in the next one. And I still can't believe that I got the pink case. Thanks Cooler Master.